is the part of the show where we got to give Donnie some love because this is what happens every night. The women chime in. Some Donnie love coming. Jen J says, "I'm right here in Vegas, Donnie. Laugh out loud, get flown out." I guess she's trying to fly you out. She want to get chose, Donnie. Yeah, and Levon says, "I'm praying for you, Donnie." Like,
oh man,
what the hell happened to me? What you praying me for? I ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? She knows something I don't know. Am I going to
you as bad as Jacob, man. You must be one of Jacob Greenleaf's boys, man.
No, right? Go ahead and spread that thing, man. Maybe she afraid of what Jen J's gonna do to you. She said she's gonna fly you out, and then Levon said, "I'm gonna pray for you, Donnie, because she know Jen J gonna put it on you." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna add another hashtag to my Greenleaf post. Pray for Donnie, just like I say, pray for Jacob.
Pray for Donnie. Pray for
Donnie, man.
Can we pray for a fellow actor of y'all, man? Can we?
Don't stand, Terry Crews.
Can we pray for Terry Crews?
Oh wow!
I mean, look, just saying.
What happened? Something else happened?
As an actor, huh?
Did I miss something? Something else happened?
Yes. Again, on Tuesday, another tweet comes out from my man Terry Crews. I gotta just read it. He said, "We must ensure hashtag Black Lives Matter doesn't morph into hashtag Black Lives Better." Of course, this is stemming from his Black supremacy tweet a few weeks back.
But you know what's crazy? I was Terry's personal stand-in for 5 years on Everybody Hates Chris and some other movies. And the Terry that I see today and the stuff that I read is not the same guy that I knew. It's like, I don't know what's going on with him.
What do you think's happened? What do you think?
Go ahead. Are we misunderstanding? I got to go back to this information on my own. So outside of this conversation, I gotta get access to this information a different kind of way, because this is all new to me and it's not tracking. It's not making it similar to what Vince is saying. This ain't making no sense to me.
Though, Lamont, you know what he said before about the Black supremacy and we need white allies, which I understand completely. But I think what he's trying to say is that if we say Black Lives Matter too much, that white people are going to think we're trying to take over instead of getting equality that we're asking for. And I think he's doing a disservice to the Black Lives Matter movement and everything, all the racial injustice that we've had to go through for previous years.
Let me say this, Mike. I think sometimes when you get into this entertainment field, you try to seem like you want to be white. You know what I mean? You try to say things that want to fit in. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, man, you don't have to do that. Just continue being yourself. You know what I mean? You don't have to try to cross over to make them accept you and this and that to get more money, to get more roles. Terry, chill out. Why? Because with the black people, hey man, you don't have to come home one day, man, because they're gonna show you who they are. You know what I mean? When you try to cross over too much, they will put you back in your place, man. So man, you need to stop that bull crap. You know what I mean?
You know what else, Donnie? You know what bothers me most about a lot of this? It's not even so much always what's coming out of people's mouths. It's the fact that it's coming out of their mouths at all.
Right.
And a lot of times what people are not really taking the time to do is to fully process what they're actually trying to articulate and then actually articulate it in a much more intelligent way than they actually end up articulating it. Not to mention, you only got, especially talking about a tweet, you only got a limited amount of characters and you end up trying to truncate something that will typically get lost in translation because you often can't clarify. You tone is lost, right? So, and then you leave it up to so much interpretation because of all of the different people who are going to receive it and interpret it the way they want to interpret it, and who knows what that lens or what that veil is at the time based upon everything that's going on. People have a bad sense of timing, and again, that's why I use the word tone, because based on the timing of an event, the timing of a statement, just like sometimes even the timing of a joke. Sometimes the funniest jokes are the most inappropriate ones. You're right. But
I will be with you, Lamont.
There's a real skill to that. And most people are very, very poor communicators, and they're not trained to really adequately be the voice of whatever they're trying to be the voice of. And by the time they try to retroactively go back and clarify it or give it any context or whatever else, so much damage has been done. You shouldn't have said anything in the first place. Like, I mean, I think that conversation, that instance with the OSU coach and the young brother who was the running back out of
Yeah.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Mike
I
Gundy.
think they found themselves in a very similar situation. And then you got to try to go back and retract and do some joint public apology.
Lamont.
And everything is just weird
Lamont.
as hell when it shouldn't have got that way in the first place.
Let me jump in. I'll be with you, and I understand where you're coming from when it comes to clarifying or it comes to context or tone. But when it comes to Terry right now, it comes down to history. First, the thing, not supporting.
But that's my point. It starts to be
but
a
that's
pattern.
what. So if it's
And
an
you keep putting your
individual
foot in your
tweet,
mouth.
but if it's an individual tweet, we can understand. But now he's following up, with these same types of tweets. It's almost like instead of like taking out of context, it's almost like he's trolling a little bit.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah,
That's the part that kind of gets me. It's like, okay, like somebody said, one of our viewers said, somebody take Terry's phone. Somebody needs to
Right. That's
kind
of what I'm saying.
For a
Instead
second,
of people stopping while they're already behind, they keep trying to say something else, then they keep trying to say something else, and then it's
stop
just
doubling down. Stop
And it's
doubling
like
down.
even if he says something positive or something real now, nobody wants to even hear it. It's just like
it might get lost, and that really is too bad, man. Because he's a good brother, man.
And you know what? And you know what? Just like my man Tokyo Ward said, and I'm saying his name right. Am I saying your name right, Tokyo?
It's Vincent.
Oh, Vincent. Why the hell they got this?
Oh, that's probably
That's his wife.
I'm like, Vincent.
We got Tokyo Ward on Fox Soul tonight.
I didn't know you were
He played that part. It was an Asian movie he played years ago. That it was a character called Tokyo Ward.
Hey, I watch like Trump. You didn't brief?
Man. Hey, Mike, I forgot what I was going to say. His wife threw me off. Go on, Mike.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Hey, but speaking about that, like in Hollywood, man, is there a part? Because Donnie's saying, because he's got the money, and a lot of times people feel like they become the dancers or sell out for Hollywood. As Black actors, there are a lot of people who don't mind speaking out and will use their platform to speak out. But then there are a lot of people who are like on the cusp in the middle that might still be afraid to speak out because of how it might affect them in Hollywood. Right. Not necessarily saying you guys, but I'm pretty sure other actors who want to say something, but because of their status right now, they're afraid to say something. Am I right about that, Vincent?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, even going back to when I was saying I was Terry stand-in, Terry wasn't making the money that he's making now. It was Chris Rock and Ali Leroy. Now it's, bigger things, Brooklyn 911 and all that. So that might be why he's changed a little bit. But as far as myself, I have to speak up. I have to, march. I have to show that I'm down with the cause. I got 13 grandkids, man. 13. So my whole thing is to leave a legacy for them and to show them what not to do or what to do in their future. We have to speak our mind. We don't have to be ghetto, but you still got to speak your mind.
And Lamont, you've been doing that even in your acting. I heard your first acting role was actually playing MLK.
Yeah, man. I was like 4th grade, man. So, but similarly, man, the activism, kind of that we're talking about right now, to me, that's always been consistent with artistry. I mean, right. I grew up with parents that academia and scholarship and activism and artistry and, pushing for, Black unity and progress. And, you know what I mean? I'm very much a child of the progressive, Black, Black movement, so that's just in my bones. I don't really know how to not do that. And I think when you're studied enough, when you're well read enough, when you pay attention to what's going on, not just throughout the history of this country, but even globally, even when it comes to the plights and histories of other people around the globe, you start to really understand what the cycle of suppression and oppression, really is. And there are some very consistent patterns with which types of people and what parts of the world are often at the root of some of this oppression. But everybody's got their mess, So some of the other people that I look up to throughout the history of my life are even men like Paul Robeson, who, was very adamant about regardless of who it was and where it was, you know, whatever kind of oppression or poverty or, progression, you know, that he believed in. It was about, if this is right, it's right wherever it is. If it's wrong, it's wrong wherever it is. So again, you bring up Dr. King. We all know he studied, you know, the philosophies of many different people around the world. He was especially, you know, inspired by Gandhi and others. So that's the thing. When you really understand where people are really coming from, man, this passion and this responsibility really to speak up and understand that you're not even so much speaking up for yourself. It's not being afraid to put yourself sometimes at risk when you understand that it's for the empowerment and upliftment, you know, of other people.
I love when
Mike, let me say this.
real quick.
Let me say this. Just because we're out here saying Black Lives Matter, when we're out here marching and protest, that doesn't mean white people, we don't like white people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I've had to say that so many times, Donnie. I'm glad you're saying
You know
that,
what I'm
man.
saying?
But people don't understand that.
Nope.
They don't understand. Just because you're pro-Black doesn't mean you're anti, you know, what else. And that's the problem we have with white supremacy. If you're saying, just because you're saying you're pro-white, that's fine. You're supposed to fight for your own people. But as soon as you start talking about you're anti, you know, this, that, and the third, and you're not willing to share, now we got a problem with you.
Right.
And that's the problem that I have with Terry's use of the word superiority and saying Black lives better and things like that, because what he's doing is actually giving fuel to the racist fire because they're so afraid that we might take over. It's not superiority that we're looking for. It's similarity. It's equality. Right. That's the fight that we want.
It's leave me the hell alone. Don't get in my fucking way. That's what it means.
Yes.
All right. Excuse my language. That's what it means. It means we're all here. We got just as much of a right to be here as anybody else. If you don't like it, you have a right to not like it. That's fine. You have a right to even say you don't like me or don't want me in the equation, but that doesn't mean you have a right to try to omit me from the equation. Right. That doesn't mean you have a right to be in my way. You might not like the fact that you're going to have to look over and see me standing there, but you know, you're going to have to deal with it because we all on this planet at the same time. So just don't be in my damn way, man. You know, you can not want me around. You ain't got to talk to me. Your daughter ain't got to marry me. Your sons ain't got to be my boys if you all choose not to, but don't bring any harm to anybody that belongs to me or looks like me. Or yeah, we're going to have a problem with you. And not even just people that look like me. Trust me, I even check my friends when they say inappropriate things about other people, other cultures and other races of people. You got to be consistent, man. This is a matter of being a man of principle, no matter who's in the conversation.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't like nobody to do none of that wrong to a white person or a black person.
That's right.
Somebody doing something wrong to a white person or a Mexican or Asian, I'm gonna say, man,
if it's foul, it's foul.
Right. If you're wrong, you're wrong, man. You know, that's just the way I was raised, man. We didn't get taught racism in my house. You know what I'm saying? I learned racism, you know what I'm saying, when Proposition 13 came around, I started being bussed out to the valley. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom was married to a white man when I was young. You know, Mike, you know this. I'm not gonna go over that. You know, that was a rough time in my hood. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I feel like I said again, right is right and wrong is wrong. Just cause we protest, that don't mean we don't like white people. You know what I'm saying? Right. If you loving us, we loving you. But if you hating on us, we gonna hate on you and we gonna ride down on you. It's plain and simple.
Right about that.